This book is called Salt Hands by Jane Chelsea Aragon and illustrated by Ted Rand. Salt Hands. In the night, I woke up. I heard something outside, like a rustle or a breath. There was a deer under the pear tree. The moon cast a shadow of his antlers on the ground. I went to the door. It was dark. It was still. The night air was warm. I didn't want to frighten the deer, so quietly I went in and I sprinkled some salt onto my hands. I tiptoed outside and I stepped toward him. Silently, he looked at me. His eyes were big and brown, and he watched me for a long time. I knelt on the grass. The deer flicked his white tail back and forth. I sang a song to him softly while he nibbled on the fallen pears. I wonder what song you would sing softly to a deer. Do you guys have any idea? Or would you make one up? Little deer. He shook his head and twitched his ears. He was listening to my song. He moved closer to me cautiously. I whispered my song. Then slowly I held out my hands. My heart beat quickly as I sat still as the grass and still as the night. I didn't want him to run away. There was not a sound as he came near me. He came very close. As I looked up at him, I could see into his eyes. They were gentle, and I knew he wasn't afraid. He lowered his head calmly and sniffed my hands, and he tasted the salt. For a moment I held my breath. I didn't move. His whiskers tickled my fingers, but I kept my palms still. He licked my hands until all the salt was gone. When he finished, he raised his head and turned away slowly, and he walked off into the night. That's the end. I've never been able to feed salt to a deer, have you? Maybe. Might be fun to try someday. They usually run away from me, though. Love you all. Mwah.